What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be clearing through the Inevitable Showdown extra missions here. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they are really quick. So for the first mission here, we've got to clear it with a Worthy Rivals Saga team. So these are all going to be for the exact same event for the 6th stage of the Supreme Magnificent Battle Universe Survival Saga Edition, which is the fated Goku Frieza fight, right? So we got to do that with a Worthy Rivals team. And then the second mission here is for doing this with a Universe Survival Saga team. Now, for this mission specifically, they also specify you can't use support items. Mission C, I actually already cleared because I used the Dokkan Info website to look at the missions for this little setup here, and for some reason it's broken, and these missions are still linked to like the previous time they did these special missions, so these are not actually the right missions. So I was starting to do these missions here, and I cleared the stage once, and then I accidentally got a different mission cleared and realized that like I wasn't working on the right setup. So anyway, that's why we have one of them cleared already. But the third mission there is going to be to clear this with any team, but 11 turns without a support item. And then mission D here is going to be to clear it with a full extreme type build. And then the very last mission that we've got is to do this with a tournament participants category within 8 turns, right? So that is going to be pretty easy for us to do alongside the Universe Survival Saga one, I'm thinking. And then obviously the very last mission is just to do all the missions, right? So let's go ahead and jump over to the event really quick. And then I think we can probably just do all the runs in the one video here. Probably shouldn't be too difficult. It's only going to take us like 10 or 15 minutes to do each run here. Okay, so this is the team that I've got set up for the Worthy Rivals build. And it didn't specify that we can't use an item for this one, so just in the interest of time for the video, I am actually going to bring a Senzu Bean, because there is one stage of this fight that has character locking, and that could end up making things quite annoying for us if we, if we get screwed out of like good rotations and stuff because of that character locking. So I think instead of dealing with that at all, I'm just going to use the Senzu Bean and cancel the character locking and then go from there, right? Now we don't have a turn restriction that we're dealing with or anything, but just to make sure that we are, like I said, in the interest of time, so that we're not rotating off characters we don't want to be rotating off, we may end up using that Senzu Bean. But it's probably not going to be the biggest deal anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and start getting some stacks for the 10th anniversary Dokkan Fest here. It looks like our rotations actually did start out pretty good. We've got the 10th anniversary Dokkan Fest split, like both the leader and the friend leader split on opposite rotations, because obviously they don't link up together, and then 2 of the 10th anniversary Dokkan Fests are side by side on the other rotation, so that is actually kind of perfect. I can't imagine we're going to struggle too hard here, especially in this like first phase, right? Definitely nothing too much to worry about. It's only going to be really concerning once we get through like later in the fight, but we are going to have those Gogeta active skills that are going to help us out quite a bit, so I really can't imagine we're going to struggle too hard here. I think the first 2 phases are going to take 2 turns, like 1 turn each. So by the time we get to the 3rd phase, which is the dodge canceling phase, I don't think we're going to be able to use any like transformations or active skills yet, but then hopefully on the very last turn we'll be able to take advantage of something like that. Okay, our defense should be well high enough. He can remain in slot 1, so yeah, we're not going to need the Senzu Bean after all. We can just go ahead and run the rotation just like this. I think it's going to be perfectly fine. So yeah, it really wouldn't be the worst deal if this took us 2 turns to get through this second phase here, but I highly doubt that it will, just because of the overwhelming power of these cards that we've got on the team, right? The 10th anniversary buffs have just made this event look so much easier than it once was. Now dealing with like the pools of HP start out at 30 million and go all the way up to 100 million by the end of the fight, and the super attack stats start at like 1 million and go up to like almost 3 million, which is just like baby numbers comparative to what we have seen with some of the 10th anniversary content, right? So this is definitely not going to be too difficult. With a stacked team like what we've got, Yeah, we should be in business here. But obviously, any of these phases, taking an extra turn would not be the worst thing ever. Just so that we have the ability to start proccing our transformations and stuff a little bit earlier, keeping us a bit more safe, right? He's got a 13 million attack stat. He's probably gonna finish this guy off. Probably. Especially with the crit. Yeah. Okay, not bad there. Okay, so we are already on to the third phase out of 4 here. I guess we'll just continue on with our rotations the exact same way that they are. It's only turn 3, so we still have our entrance animation active. Let's see, he's got 570k defense. Their normals hit for 920k. Maybe I should put him slot 1. Just because he's got the extra damage reduction, so he's probably going to be a little bit safer, and then each of the hits that he takes, he's going to be building up a little bit more, right? Yeah, that's probably going to be the best way to go. Let's do that. And just thinking about setting up orbs for the next turn, we should just grab that, I guess. We've got a couple of tech orbs there. Okay, yeah. That works out fine. We did take a little bit of damage, but now for the rest of the turn, we should be safe. I can't imagine we would take damage even if we got hit with a super attack. Probably not, right? Maybe I'll be proven wrong here in a moment. We'll see. But this also works out well just because that's 2 of the hits that this Vegeta would need to take in order to get his revive activated. Which I suppose could be something we potentially see activate. But again, it's kind of unlikely just with how short it's going to be before the event is over. So yeah, we'll see. But then starting next turn is going to be turn 4. We're going to be able to tag switch our 10th anniversary LRs, and then we can tag switch one of them to make sure that we're safe in slot 1, so we don't have to take an onslaught of attacks like that again. So yeah, I guess the main question at this point is, do we survive the super attack for the turn? Okay, looks like the super attack is coming in against Beerus at the end. It's a 2.7 million damage super attack. I think he can probably tank it. Oh, there was no super attack. Wow, okay. Well, that works out decently well for us. Okay, so because this phase has attacks guaranteed to hit, we're going to put the Vegito in slot 1 and tag switch him. Because we know he's going to be getting hit, right? Whereas the Gogeta is going to be fine in slot 2 here. Actually, should we? It's probably not going to matter. I was going to say, should we could tag switch him and then use the Fusion Failure active skill, because that's going to delete all the enemy attacks for the turn. I think that's actually going to be a good idea. Yeah, that's going to give us... Okay, let's do this. So, let's go ahead and use the Fusion Failure really quick. I want to take advantage of doing this because we don't do it often. I feel like it's just a really, really common strat for us to just use the Gogeta and Vegito transformations. I don't really crush the Potara much or like use the Fusion Failure, but I think that's going to work out well here, because what this allows us to do is now we can keep this Vegito untag switched, which means we can focus on offensive stacks for him. And that's going to be really big for the final phase, giving him more damage output, right? Which I suppose using the Gogeta active skill, giving him the support buff, would also do this, have the same effect, essentially. But I think I like this idea, because then it guarantees our safety this turn as well, since we're not taking any attacks. So yeah, overall I think that's probably going to be the best outcome. And then we do still have one more Gogeta that we can use the Gogeta active skill for, right? On the opposite rotation there. I suppose it's also possible that we just one turn this final phase as well, and then we wouldn't have to worry about, like, this rotation worrying about this being a thing at all anyway, right? So then it definitely would have been worthwhile to use the Ghost Usher active here, if we don't see them come back. Okay, yeah, so we're definitely finishing off the phase here, and now we're on to the final phase of the fight. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, we'll start by launching this active skill with the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Get a little bit of free damage in there. And then, yeah, we might as well use the Gogeta active skill here. This is going to give us a full heal. And then we can also see where that super attack is at, which is going to be right there in slot 1. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and keep Mr. 80% damage reduction up front. Yeah, that's probably going to be the best idea. So yeah, we'll keep him up front, and then we'll go ahead and launch his active skill as well. Just giving us the support buff for everybody for the rotation, and then yeah, it's looking like it's going to be game over. That super attack, obviously he could tank this in slot 1, but the reason I don't want to put him there is because that super attack is going to greatly lower his attack, and I would rather him do the most possible damage output for the turn. So we're going to avoid that at all costs. I think is going to be the best idea here. And we'll get those couple of rainbow orbs for some additional stat boosts on him. And this should be GG right here. Okay, perfect. Take a little bit of damage, but basically nothing. That worked out fine. And even with the attack lower, we're still at 24 million, just from his passive buildup and then from the, support from the Gogeta active. So that's quite impressive, honestly. I didn't imagine he would be over the damage threshold cap, because as you see there, he just hit for 0. They do have a damage threshold. I think it's 10 million is the number. But obviously with all these 10th anniversary buffs, that is kind of nothing for us to deal with, right? Okay. And a massive 34 million damaging attack stat coming in to finish off the fight. Not a big deal. Cool. And they are donezo. Alright, so that is mission completed. And then also, I guess that that third mission that we had already completed prior to starting the video, since I had to restart when I realized we were doing the wrong set of missions. That one would have been cleared here as well, because it would have been within 11 turns without the support item. So technically we did get that cleared in this video as well. Okay, and then the next mission that we had to do is we're going to use this team here. So we need to use Universe Survival Saga and Tournament Participants. Now the Universe Survival Saga mission required us to use no items, so we're going to take off the item there. We can still use a support memory, so I'm going to use the Zeno support memory here. And then because of the Tournament Participants mission, we have to clear it in 8 turns. So we've got to do it with this team, no items, 8 turns, and then we'll get both of those missions cleared. And then the very last one that we'll have is the Extreme class build, and we'll be done. So should just be one more run after this. Now, if you'll notice, I have a couple of characters that do need to dodge here, and we do have a dodge canceling phase. So that may come into play. That might end up hurting us, biting us in the ass here, just because we're not going to be able to get that domain activated with the tech UI until his 5th turn of battle. And it looks like he's literally slot 7. Are you kidding? Yeah, so we're not going to be able to deal with any dodge canceling. Or like, we're not going to be able to nullify the dodge canceling. We are going to have to face off against that. So that's just going to be something to consider as we move forward. Alright, so I guess we'll keep Jiren and Vegeta together. I want to put Vegeta very first up front so that he can tank and attack. Because I imagine by the time Jiren is finished attacking, we're probably going to KO this phase. Get same type orbs for a little bit of healing here. We want to try and remain as high of an HP number as possible, just for entering phase 3, right? Where we're not going to be able to dodge cancel. We're definitely going to take some unfortunate hits. Though, I guess if we were able to get ourselves below 70% HP, then we would have the revive available with the AGL UI. So maybe that could be a decent option too. Though we've already not committed to that by taking damage, right? And we definitely weren't going to take enough passive damage from this phase. Just because we're going to finish it in 1 turn anyway. So yeah, that probably wouldn't have mattered too much. I guess that's fine. Okay, let's see where the lock is. Slot 2 here. Okay, not a big deal. I mean, I ideally would have liked to rotate them off, so that kind of sucks. I would have liked to keep them on for the extra damage and stuff, especially against this STR phase upcoming. Or the physical phase upcoming, I mean. And actually, yeah, that's... Okay, let's see. So this phase, the normal attacks hit for 600k. He's got slightly lower defense, so he's definitely going to take some damage on it, but I think it's probably smart to rotate off UI Goku so that we don't have to worry about him on that physical phase where he's not going to be able to dodge anything, right? And I would rather have the STR Vegeta, who's going to be able to do a crap ton of damage, having type advantage in that phase. And then we'll surely be able to finish it in one phase, or like one turn that he's on rotation. So yeah, this is probably the best way to go. The only way that this is going to bite us in the ass is if there is a super up there in slot 1. Obviously, he's going to get absolutely destroyed by a 1.6 million super attack stat. So hopefully that's not the case. But with all these orbs selected, that gives him a little bit of an extra defense buff as well. So we'll see. He should be alright. He should be alright here. Okay, and then we'll select some more same type orbs. There we go, back to 800k. Yeah, awesome. Oh, okay, that hurts. Are we dead? We might be. This might be a KO here. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so no big deal. We're gonna run that back with the exact same team build. I do have faith in this team build to work. Just kind of a couple of things that need to go in our favor, right? That was a little bit unfortunate the way those things laid out, but I think we can still do it. If he's in slot 7 again, okay, at least he's just turn 2, but that does suck because it means that we're not going to get to activate the domain until turn 6, which is going to be at the end of the fight, post you know, the attack disable phase anyway, or the dodge cancel phase. Okay, this actually works out well. Let's do this. We're gonna put... Let's see. I'm just trying to think for moving forward. If we're confident that we can... Okay, yeah, because we have the STR Vegeta on the next rotation. Yeah, this should be fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and rotate off UI Goku. My reasoning for that is because I want to... Okay, let's try to take damage this time. Maybe that could be smart. Let's try not to heal. Yeah. And see if we can get below the 70% to get the revive available for AGLUI. And then also putting Blue Vegeta in the first slot here, he's going to take the 5 attacks that he needs. So starting his next turn, we'll have his revive available, and then we'll have them on opposite rotations, so we'll have a revive available every single turn for the rest of the fight once we get them activated. That's kind of the idea I'm going with here. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is it's pretty likely that these first 2 phases we're going to finish in 1 turn each. So that means that turn 3, we would have the AGLUI coming back. We don't want him there on turn 3. Because that's right when we're going to start the dodge cancel phase, right? So we wouldn't want him around. It would be better if he shows up on turn 4, and then we'll have both the UI Gokus that need to dodge there on turn 4. So that'll be good. But obviously, the one contingency with that is that we actually finish off this phase in 1 turn. Okay, that worked out really well for us. So we got the Tech UI in slot 1. He was our de facto slot 1 unit for this turn, just in case there's a slot 1 super. He'll be able to dodge it for us. But again, we don't want to heal, so let's try to avoid selecting same type orbs at all costs. Let's get all of these int orbs out of the way so that we can select, I guess, like the physical ones with Frieza here. Oh, that's really funky. Because he gets the extra key per rainbow key sphere obtained, he's not actually grabbing those physical orbs at the top. I think because of that, I'm going to grab these on this side. Just in case we don't finish this in 1 turn. That'll probably be the smartest way to go. Nice, and there was a slot 1 super again, but we got to dodge it this time. And that is why, even though there's a dodge canceling phase coming up, it is smart to have dodging units on the team. Because we just saw the difference between not having a dodge unit and having a dodge unit there, right? Makes all the difference in the world. But yeah, we'll see if we're still going to be safe through this next turn. Since we won't have an STR unit on rotation. Yeah, it's that actually turn 4 is going to be quite interesting because we're going to have the STR Blue Vegeta, and then we're also going to have the 2 UI Gokus. So if we're unable to finish off the physical phase on the next turn alone, then we're going to have 2 units that need to dodge that can't, and 1 unit that is not a slot 1 unit at all. So yeah, that'll be quite a risky turn. We'll see. We'll see how that works. I guess our one saving grace would have been if we had taken some damage before that point. Then the AGL UI would have a revive available for us at least. But it doesn't look like we did successfully take any damage. So unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. But we do have a revive available here because of the int Blue Vegeta. Okay. So now, I think he's going to be pretty safe in slot 1. He's got the damage reduction plus the 920, or plus 880k defense, and we're facing off against a 920,000 attack stat, so he should be fine against that. Do we want to stand by Jiren? Our chances of finishing, I feel like we might as well stand by Jiren. He's not going to be doing any damage this turn, but he is going to be providing some support in slot 2, which is going to help the Blue Vegeta tank a little bit better. But I think that this also ensures that we're going to have to be here for 2 turns on this phase, right? Which means we're definitely going to have to face off against some nastiness on the next turn. So we'll see how that goes for us. We'll see. Oh, shoot. And then it looks like we are probably going to get the heal, the full heal in. Okay, no big deal. No big deal. Yeah, because I want to get all these orbs with Jiren, so that's probably going to take us back to full HP. Yep. Back to 100% we go. Okay, at that rate, we might as well keep selecting same type orbs then, just to fill that Dokkan gauge a little bit. Alright, but yeah, with the support from Jiren, they are tanking perfectly fine on top of that damage reduction. And then there we go. Now they have their full, within the turn, damage reduction built up, so they're at, like, at 80%. No way he's taking any damage here, right? Alright, these guaranteed crits definitely help out a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay, a 3rd super attack. So, maybe, I don't know. If we have, like, a baller turn with the Golden Frieza in 17, maybe we could finish off the phase? I suppose it's possible. Because they are going to get a little bit of an extra damage buff with the Jiren support. And this is going to tank for double digits, since we got more than enough orbs to give Jiren 100% damage reduction. There we go. I suppose in hindsight, it was a pretty good idea that we put him in standby, right? He might have actually not survived, because that's a 2.7 million damaging super attack. So that could have been pretty bad. Ah, yeah, they're still pretty weak here. It doesn't look like we are going to be able to finish it off then. Okay. No big deal. No big deal. Let's see. The super attack has a cooldown of 9, and the fact that they just launched it and they're only doing like 1 or 2 more attacks afterward means that they cannot super attack in slot 1. Okay, so with that being considered, we know we'll be safe to put him in slot 1. And then, we can save the AGL UI active skill for the next phase, just in case we need it. Yeah, that's probably going to be the best way to go. Because we're definitely going to finish this off, right? With type advantage with this Vegeta, there's no way he doesn't finish this thing off. And with that only being a normal attack, he's got 1,000,000 defense. Yeah, he's going to be fine in slot 1 there. So no worries on that one. And then get that to AGL UI just in case. And we're also over the 30 orbs selected, so we know we're going to be able to put Jiren into full power on the next turn. So that'll work out pretty well for us. He's also going to provide a scouter, so we'll be able to see exactly where that super attack is going to be at. That probably will end up working out really well for us. Alright. onward to the final phase here. And we're still within our 8-turn restriction. Yeah, plenty well within that. Nice. Okay, it's active skills galore. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I need to remind myself if this one does damage, because one of them is just a support, between the tag switch and this. Yeah, this one does the damage. Okay, so let's do some damage here. Awesome, free damage from Frieza, and then we'll go ahead and do some more free damage with Blue Goku, or Blue Vegeta. And then let's go ahead and transform Jiren. So now he's in full power, and we're going to put Jiren in the first slot. There's a chance that he doesn't survive the super attack. Maybe. I mean, he's got a lot of damage reduction, but his defense stat is pretty low. And if he doesn't survive it, that's perfectly fine because we do have the revive available to us right now. So that won't be the worst thing ever. And then we'll grab all of these. Okay. Yeah, we should be good to go here for sure. But if Jiren does survive this super attack, then he's going to get a massive attack raise from having received a super attack, right? So that's just going to inflict way more damage toward the enemy. Okay, yeah, we're perfectly fine. Okay, let's see what Jiren's got in the tank. 42 million. Oh my goodness. Just Jiren things. Just Jiren things. Definitely the friend lead having the 220% leader skill helps out a lot with that, right? Wow, that was quite massive. Okay, and then because we launched the active skill here, we have guaranteed crits on this guy for the turn, so it's probably GG at the moment. Yeah. This extra super attack is... Oh, this is probably not going to be quite enough to finish it off, but then if he gets a third super attack, or whatever the Goku Frieza does in the final slot, should be enough. Okay, there we go. That's going to finish it up. Okay, so now we just have one mission left to take care of, to have all of these done. That's going to be to use a full Extreme Class build. Now, there's no, like, support item restrictions or any, you know, turn restrictions or anything, so we're free to use whatever team we want. We just have to use a Rainbow Extreme Class team. So let's go ahead and jump in with that. The team build that we've got ready to go for it is this. Kind of a funky team build, but I think it'll work out decently for us. And then, as far as the support memory we want to have active, we're going to go for the Worldwide Chaos one. The two Zamasus, I believe that's the right one, right? Yeah, Worldwide Chaos. Gives all the Worldwide Chaos characters a permanent buff, which is going to be everybody on the team except for the two Friezas, I believe. Or wait. Yeah, everyone except the two Friezas. And then we will attach a support item. Again, we'll try not to use it, but if it comes down to it, we may end up wanting to. I wonder if it's going to be a better idea to use a Ghost Usher for the dodge canceling phase, or if it'll be a better idea to use a Senzu Bean for the character locking phase. I'm thinking probably a Ghost Usher for the dodge canceling phase is going to be smarter. Well, at that rate, we might as well use a Whis so that we could just have 2 turns of basic protection. Sure, let's go for that. Yeah, all right. This should be fine. Okay, we get both Fat Boos on turn 1. Sure. Whatever. I guess that works. I would have liked to see Cell on turn 1. Okay, of course Cell is slot 7. Because I want him to transform as quickly as possible so we can get his, you know, get him into his stronger state by the end of the fight. Doesn't look like that's probably going to happen at this point, but that's fine. Let's keep the Friend Boo on rotation just because he's got a little more power being rainbowed. And then with the Boo's passives, the enemy's little ability where they were able to diminish our HP just got completely canceled out, so that's kind of funny. Okay, got an additional, but it wasn't a super, and then, yeah, there we go. We do want to try to get as many super attacks as possible with these Boos because they are permanently stacking defense. That's going to help them a little bit throughout the fight. But remember that both of the Boos are going to have permanent revives available to them. So if we're looking like there's a really, really snaky turn where things are looking bad for us, then we can just throw them in slot 1 and force the revive and then move on from there, right? So that is a definite option that we're going to have, especially on that dodge canceling phase. If we feel like there's no good slot 1 for whatever reason, then the boos, we could definitely depend on them to just get KO'd, because they're going to have type disadvantage on that stage anyway. Okay, are they actually going to survive this first turn? There's no way. I mean, I suppose there is a way. Yeah, that's the double fat boo rotation definitely hurt us for this first turn, right? I suppose it's not the biggest deal, though. We're not in any rush. We don't have, like, turn restrictions or anything. And I guess this is just going to help some of our stacking units and some of our, you know, transforming units get a little bit more stacks in before we get to the really tough phases. So that isn't the biggest deal. Let's go ahead and keep the 2 boos together. Yeah, it's probably going to be the best way to go. We'll save all these orbs for the tech boo. Get a little bit of healing in there. Okay, and then we should be in business here now. We will have a domain to be able to activate with that boo at some point, I think. I can't actually remember what the activation conditions are for it, but I know he has it. See if I can pull him up on the side and take a look at that while we're running through these first couple phases here. Alright, so on to phase 2. Let's see who's going to get locked in slot 1. Oh, okay, that works out really well for us. That Cell was in slot 7, actually. It's kind of the same thing as him being in slot 1, because now he just transforms for free, instead of having to use him in base 1 time first, right? Okay, so that domain is going to be activated when all allies are power absorption, or like in the turn are power absorption, or starting from turn 6. So on the next turn that they show up, we'll be able to activate it because the other fat boo is going to be there. Okay, that works out perfectly then. Oh shoot, do I want to rotate fat boo off? Oh, I can't. Frieza got locked in the last slot. Okay, then I guess we'll use Cell. Cell is getting permanent stacks, right? Of attack? Okay, sure. Yeah. That's gonna work out well for us then. Let's put Cell slot 1. And then, yeah, we'll grab these for Boo. Looks like Frieza's gonna be just short of that 18 key. Not a big deal, though. He's got so much damage reduction. I think we'll be fine either way. Kind of same deal with Cell. He's got a pretty strong kit. I think we'll be fine on this phase. It doesn't hit too hard. Especially because we don't have to deal with slot 1 supers. Everybody's going to be able to super attack before having to take any hits. We should be perfectly safe here. Okay, it looks like Frieza's going to be the one facing off against that super attack. Not a huge deal. Alright, and then we're getting some free defense stacks in here for Fat Boo, which is helpful. Oh, I guess just a singular stack. That was kind of unfortunate. Well, because of having the... this team, just damage-wise, is really not it, because all these units have to, like, build up and transform and stuff. So yeah, it looks like we are going to be spending another turn on this phase. So we're going to have to face off against one more character lock. Hopefully we'll be alright with that, though. At least we're going to be able to get the domain activated, and I think I probably will just activate the domain right away. Because obviously we could wait further, but the next turn we're going to have... Who do we rotate off before? I'm completely blanking on who that was at this point. Oh, no, it's the other Goku Frieza. Yeah, they're not going to be on power absorption, so we wouldn't be able to activate it then, so we've got to do it this turn. Hello? Oh, is Kid Buu not on power absorption? Okay, silly me. Kid Buu's not on power absorption. That's what the issue is there. Okay, then I guess... in that case, we're not going to be able to get the domain activated at all. So because of that, I kind of don't even want to have him on rotation. I think let's go ahead and just float the Buuhan then. And we'll keep Fat Buu slot 1. If we do take a super attack up front, then we'll just get the revive procced. And then if we don't, we should be safe for the turn regardless, so... that'll be fine. Let's grab these in hopes that Rainbow Orb maybe falls? No. Okay. Well, we can get the 4 orbs for him at least. He's got a little bit of a nuking passive, so you do want to try and get as many orbs as possible with him. Okay, and no big deal that we're taking that little bit of damage, because obviously all these boos have healing abilities out the ass, so we're definitely going to heal back to full by the end of the turn. Ooh, okay, okay. This could potentially hurt him. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, that was a little bit, but not a ton of damage. That's fine then. That didn't end up hurting us too bad. I think still we're probably going to be at 100% HP by the start of next turn. Alright, and we will be on to the next phase now. Let's see, let's see. The one thing that hurts us is we do have 2 characters with type disadvantage here. We are getting Cell transforming into the final form. So that's pretty good. I need to refresh myself on Easy Aid version of his kit. So let me pull him up as well. Let's see. Okay. So it looks like with Cell in final form, he's going to have a good bit of damage reduction. As long as our HP is above 50%, then he's getting a guaranteed additional in there. And some extra evasion chance, which obviously isn't going to do much for us here. So he's got permanent, or he has guard for the next 3 turns. He's going to get some more stats, multiplicative stats on super here, and then 35% damage reduction. He also does have a 70% chance to dodge, but obviously that isn't going to do anything for us here. And then his defense stat is 400,000. This phase hits for 920k, but he has guard. I'm considering putting him in slot 1, because there's only 1 attack he's going to have to tank before getting his great raises on super for the turn. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think that's smart. And then, as far as orb selection for the turn, I suppose we can... Nah, I want to get these int orbs cleared up here. Yeah, let's do that. And then I think we'll save the Goku Frieza active skill for a little bit later. But I do want to tag switch them, right? Yeah, because we're above 77% HP, correct? Yes, we are. So let's go ahead and tag switch them into Goku then. Because he's got all the extra buffs, the additional damage reduction and stuff from being above 77%. Yeah, and then he has guard as well, which is really nice. Yeah, there we go. We need to make sure to get a rainbow key sphere. And then if he gets a lot of key spheres, that'll be helpful as well. Okay. Oh, well, that's kind of awkward. We have literally 1 option here. Yeah, I guess we just have to do this, because there's only 1 rainbow key sphere for us to select. I suppose we could app reset and then not select all those orbs with Cell and set the board up better for this situation, but I think either way we're going to be fine. The worst possible case scenario here is that Boo doesn't do any super attacks for the turn, and then gets hit with a super. But even in that case, we're still going to get the revive available to us, so it won't be a big deal that happened anyway. And then pretty soon, we should be having the Ghost Usher active skills apply for Boo as well. I believe it's just turn 6, right? Gonna go ahead and pull up that card on the wiki as well and take a look. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, so... 7 turns. Okay, so we're almost there. We're almost there. We're definitely going to get to turn 7 by the end of the fight, so we will be able to use that at least once. Hopefully both of them, though, would be convenient. Okay, we did get supered and KO'd. Wow, okay, so there's the revival. Okay, well, this is the other way to get the Ghost Usher active, post-revive. So now that he's been revived, both him and the other Boo are going to have 100% stats added, permanent guard, a permanent guaranteed additional, and the permanent ability to survive KO attacks once within the turn. Wow. Okay, yeah. So they both just got like massively stronger. And then we'll have the yeah, okay, so this Boo, because it's the one that didn't revive, he will have to wait until turn 7 to use his active skill. And then the other one should be able to use it next turn, which coincidentally is turn 7, so that should be fine. Okay, I'm thinking I maybe want to leave the rotations like this, just in preparation for that final phase. I think that's probably the smartest. Wow, wait, Frieza's defense is so low. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared about that. Okay, Int Boo. Yeah, that's... Oh, man, that's so scary. What do we do here? What do we do here? Because obviously Kid Boo is going to have a much better time with slot 1. I mean, Frieza does have, like, a lot of damage reduction. So he's got 20%, plus the additional 30% as first attacker in the turn. But yeah, he lost all these stats from, for it being the first 6 turns. Wait, is it his... Yeah, it is still 6 turns, so he still has those stats applied, and his defense is that low. He just, between getting rotated off and not being able to dish those 18 key supers, his defense just looks so measly for us, right? Yeah, I'm actually really, really worried about that last turn. Let's go ahead and rotate him off. Let's keep STR Boo in the first slot. Because we're gonna get... Oh, no, it's not gonna be Tech Boo. It's gonna be the Goku Frieza that comes around onto the rotation. Oof, man. That final turn is gonna be looking real scary. Okay, let's do this then. Let's do this. Let's keep full power Frieza up here. Let's try and prioritize a defensive stack for him now. We'll do this. That way we can select same type orbs. We're going to keep Int Boo around because of the ability to survive KO attacks and stuff is going to be good. And then we're going to, yeah, get all same type orb selection. That way we can possibly get toward that Dokkan attack. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Oh, I'm so silly. I don't have to worry about any of this. We have the Ghost Usher that we're going to be able to use, right? The Int Boo is going to be able to have the Ghost Usher on the next turn. I was just talking about that at the beginning of the phase, and I didn't even think to remember that. So yeah, we definitely made the right choice because obviously the full power Frieza is going to do more damage, having type advantage against the final phase, than probably the STR Boo would. And then we also have the other Frieza that we're going to be able to link with him, so he'll get a couple more links active, which will be nice. It's not going to be perfect. That tag switch Goku Frieza doesn't really have, like, mainly Frieza links, but it's going to be a little bit better than what these Boos are providing, I believe. So that will be helpful. And then because we'll be able to have that Ghost Usher activated, we can put Frieza in the middle slot to make sure he has as much possible, you know, offensive capability as possible, like as many links active as we can get him. Let's see, is he getting any extra stats based on his slot positioning? No, it's just the damage reduction. Oh, actually, yeah, he's getting an extra 50% attack and great chance of launching an additional super in the second or third slot. So we'll for sure make sure to put him in the second slot then. Okay, that works out. Alright, and we are still on the dodge canceling phase. Oh! We can activate the domain. We accidentally got all of our power absorption enemies here, or allies. Okay, the effect of that domain is that power absorption or transformation boost category enemies and allies are going to get 15% stats. Majin Buu Saga category enemies and allies are going to get an additional 15%. Okay, that works out really well, because I believe transformation boost should not qualify on any of the enemies, on either this Golden Frieza 17 or the Goku Frieza. I think so. But either way, it doesn't matter because we have the Ghost Ushers that we're going to be able to use. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this domain up. I don't want him on rotation though. I'm going to just proc the domain here. Okay, perfect. This actually ends up working out really, really well for us. Because you know who else is transformation boost? Basically our entire team. So everybody's going to be getting a bonus from that, and then all of our Boos just got decently stronger as well. Sweet. Okay, well, yeah, let's go ahead and launch this, ooh, though. Thinking. In the off chance that we don't KO on the next turn, when that final turn happens, we might want access to the second Ghost Usher from that final phase of Goku Frieza. In that case, I might want to save the Ghost Usher here. Because I would imagine that Cell... Let's see. Let's take a look at Cell again. He's got guard for the first 3 turns from entry, so he's still guarding right now. And then... yeah, I think I'm gonna opt to go with that. Let's go ahead and save the Ghost Usher active there. Sure. Oh, this is a little bit funky. I wanted to try and get same type orbs with everybody. Just, again, for that Dokkan gauge. So let's do this. And then... yeah, we'll grab all these for Boo. And these for this Boo. Okay, there we go. Oh no, and it's a slot 1 super. Aw, did we just lose everything? I think we just got KO'd right here. Dang. Let's see. Yep. Man, that sucks. Okay, I should have used the Ghost Usher. I got a little bit greedy there. That sucks. Okay, now we gotta redo all of that again. Ugh. That is awful. Okay, we did also have the Whis that we could use there. I probably should have just used the Whis. Man, that sucks. I wanted the no item it, though. We were so close to getting to the no item portion of it. That almost ended up working out. Dang. That's really unfortunate. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I think the plan at this point... Man, we got a slot 7 Cell again. Okay, so we'll go Friend Boo slot 1, just like before. Do that. And then, so we have a slot 7 Cell, which means he's going to come back, or he's going to be here on turn 3. So he'll be on this rotation. So we're going to float the Tech Boo, get him around onto this rotation, and then we'll keep a rotation of Cell and Tech Buhan. That way, on any given turn that we have one of our Int Fat Boos come around onto the rotation, then they'll be able to activate the domain. Since those are the only 3 power absorption characters we have on the team. Well, technically 4, because there's 2 of the Fat Boos. But obviously, from this point forward, they're going to be on opposite rotations the whole time. Okay, yeah, this should work out decently well for us. Now that I know there's a strat where we can actually get that domain up. Man, that sucks so bad. I really should have just used the Ghost Usher. And then just been like, if we run out of options, we can just use the Whis for the final turn. That obviously would have been a much better strategy than what we just did. For future reference, yeah, it does look like these guys do link up decently, just because of Prodigies and, like, Universe Most Malevolent. So that does work out pretty decently for us. And then now we get a little bit lucky as well. We're going to be able to get a defense stack in here for Frieza. We weren't lucky enough to be able to prioritize those on the last fight. And then again, we still want to try and keep selecting same type orbs through the entire fight. That way we can get that Dokkan gauge building up. If we can build it up just a little bit quicker than last time, we might just be able to depend on a Dokkan attack to finish the fight for us. But it looked like we were going to be a little bit shy of it on that last attempt. Okay, and then moving on to phase 2 here, we've got Cell coming in. He's going to get his first transformation in there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the second form Cell kit. Oof. So he does have guard, and then he's got a little bit of a chance to do everything with, like, some damage reduction, some evasion. Okay, let's just peep what his defensive stat is. Since we rotated Boo... Oh, well, he got locked in slot 1, so it doesn't matter anyway. Then I guess this is the answer. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, actually, okay. Big brain play. Big brain play. The domain is going to be active for 3 turns once we get it, I believe. Let me double check that. The domain activates for 3 turns, yeah. Okay, so with the domain up for 3 turns, if we leave our rotation like this now, then when on turn 5, we're going to get access to proccing the domain, yeah, that's probably going to work out the best for us. So, yeah, we'll do this, because our other option would be to rotate Boo off now. Just because, think about it, once we have Cell, and then we have the Tech Buhan on rotation together, we want to keep them together to make sure that we have Power Absorption allies, so that when Fat Boo comes back, we can get the, get the domain active. But if we rotate them off now, it's going to be another, 4 or 5 turns before they come back together, so we got to do it like this. But if we do it like this, then that means on turn 5, when the Buhan shows up here, we're going to have Buhan in the middle slot, and then Fat Boo there. So if it was still too early in the fight to proc the domain, then again, we were still going to have to wait 5 turns from then. So it would have been smarter to rotate him off now instead of rotating him off next turn and having to wait all that time. But I think starting it up, getting it until turn 8 is going to be enough, so we'll go ahead and keep Fat Boo on. Hopefully that word vomit made sense. Hopefully. Alright, so yeah, hopefully Cell's dodge comes in clutch if there is a slot 1 super. That is cheeky enough to proc there. It is very possible. And we'll grab this, clear up the board on that left side a little bit for next turn. Okay. We got lucky not having to deal with the super attack there, that's good. Alright. We're doing decently here. I think we're probably in a better position than we were on the last attempt. On the last go-around. We're definitely doing a little bit more damage per turn, which is nice. Oh yeah, and with that additional, I think it's really possible that Kid Buu could just finish this phase right here. Which, if we're planning for getting the most out of that domain buff, that would be the most ideal situation, right? For us to get the, for us to KO right here and move on to the next phase. And then again, that would be 1 less turn of character locking we're gonna have to deal with. An additional? Yeah, that should be it. Awesome, there we go, there we go. So yeah, no more character locking shenanigans. And then now we're immediately on to the next phase. Very good stuff. Okay, and so now we already know what to do here. We want to keep Buu on rotation. We're going to put Frieza in slot 1. Because we want him to be able to tank for us and actually do damage, because obviously we could just depend on the revive, but I think it's going to be smarter to do it this way. Okay, so now the only thing that sucks here is, again, we can't get the defense boost. Because we can't get the extra Key Sphere. Oh, wait, he's going to get the Key Sphere when he gets hit, right? Full Power Frieza. At the start of each turn, he gets 1 key. For every attack received, he gets 1 key. I don't know how many attacks he's received, though. Yeah, he's only received 2. Okay, so that's perfect. So as long as we get him 4 orbs like this... wait, let's see. Yeah. So as long as we get him this, then that first attack he takes is going to get him up to the 18 key, so he will get that extra bit that he needs. That's really good. And then because we are over 77% HP, we want to tag switch into Goku, and we need to make sure to get him a Rainbow Orb. So I think we're going to do this. Wow, we might be in the exact same situation as last time, where we have to take a slot 2 super against Buu that didn't super attack, and then we just get KO'd. But in the case that doesn't happen, we definitely want to make sure that the Goku Frieza is safe in that final slot, right? Which they should be with all of those Key Spheres obtained, especially with the 1 Rainbow Key Sphere that gives them that massive damage reduction. Okay, awesome. So another defense boost for Frieza. Now he's looking really, really solid. Last time he was at like 300k. Now he's upwards of 700k. So that's pretty good. Probably upwards of 800k even, maybe? We'll see. We'll have to see what it's looking like on the next rotation here. Okay, so the super attack is launching slot 1. Then we're definitely living for the turn. No question about it. Okay, so yeah, we're in business. We're basically back to the trajectory that we were at last time. We've got the domain we're going to be able to proc next turn. This is going to be a really low damaging turn, though. We might actually be sitting on this phase for one extra turn than before. Or actually, no, that was the way it was before, right? We proc the domain, and then the next turn was the final phase of the fight. I can't remember. I think we're procking the domain one turn earlier this time around. Because the thing that makes the difference is that we didn't get hit with the revive, right? Which I guess is good, because that means we still have it available. Because obviously, had we still had the revive available at that point, then obviously we wouldn't have taken a KO to begin with. Okay, here we go. Good stuff. So let's go ahead and get this domain activated real quick. And then from this point on, I think I still want to rotate him off. Yeah. Okay, now, we're in the exact same position as before. We gotta think carefully about this. Okay, hold on. I think this is actually going to be the safest setup to ensure we don't need to use items and we don't take a KO state. Because while he's in that domain state, he's very strong, right? We don't have the... Like, if we were able to dodge on this phase, we could just depend on the 70% chance to dodge with Cell. But because we already saw that he can't tank a super in slot 1. Whereas this guy has 70% damage reduction. That's already going to be enough, because well, and then he gets, what? A bunch of additional... Oh, he's just launching additionals, I see. Maybe Will he survive? With just 70% damage reduction against a... How damaging is this super attack? 2.7 million? He won't survive that. Wow, so do we just have to put Int Boo in the first slot and then take the loss of the, like, revive proccing? I think that's legitimately what we have to do. I don't think we have any other options here. Yeah, because with the Tech Boo, he's just getting HP recovery at the end of the turn. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Okay, he can go slot 1. I missed the portion of his kit where for every key sphere obtained, he's getting 40% defense when receiving an attack. Yeah. So as long as we select a decent amount of key spheres with him, then there we go. That's going to be an additional 200% defense right there when he gets hit with an attack. So yeah, that's... And because it's when receiving an attack, it's multiplicative, so it's going to do even more. He'll definitely be fine if he tanks a super. Okay, I was thinking, I was like, I know he's very tanky, but why am I not, like, seeing that in his kit? And then, I do want to keep the Boo on. One, because they're going to link a little better, the two of them, than the Cell here. And then also because I want to try to keep the two Boos on opposite rotations still, just so that we have the revive option at any given point, right? So yeah, with that considered, we'll just go ahead and grab these and move on. Okay, now I kind of hope there is a slot 1 super. Or at least that the Buhan is the one to get supered. Because if the Fat Boo gets supered, he might get KO'd, which would suck because there's a lot of damage potential for us in the final slot. And we still have quite a bit of a ways to go to fully deplete the enemy's HP here. It looks like we're moving a little bit slower than we were previously on this phase, which is a bit unfortunate, but not the biggest deal in the world, I suppose. Because again, moving slower, it does just mean that we're going to be able to stack a bit higher with all the characters that need to stack. Okay, so the super is in slot 3, or there isn't one at all. I suppose that's possible as well. But at least we made it that far to be able to do this damage. But now we do have to survive, right? Because we don't have a revive available here in this third slot. Okay, so go off king. Very good stuff. Triple super, triple crit. You love to see it. Alright, no super. Very good. But because of that, now there's almost guaranteed to be one in slot 1. But again, that should be fine because of having Frieza. Yeah, with the 700k defense, should be good to go. And then we get yet another defensive stack for Frieza. So that's really, really good for us. And then even some more same type orb selection here. We should be on to the final phase just fine. Okay, I think we're pretty much a shoe-in to win at this point, especially because we still have the revive skills available to us, right? We're not going to have a scouter available or anything to be able to know exactly where a super attack might be at for us to, you know, tank the best. Or for us to, like, forcibly revive with, like, putting the Fat Boo in the way of the super attack. But it just ensures that if we're having any type of question on the rotation, we can just put Fat Boo slot 1, and then it's pretty safe to say that he would get KO'd if that were the case, right? Because this final phase does have a really, really easy proc for the super attack, right? Let me see what the info says on the wiki. Yeah, so it's a 50% chance to proc, and there's no cooldown. So it likely will be in slot 1, especially because of all those attacks that are there. Oh, but would you look at that? That's actually pretty convenient. The Fat Boo active skill is available to us. So let's go ahead and use that now. And then we'll tag switch them back since we're going to have the Ghost Usher active here. I'm trying to consider if I want to select any orbs first. I think I want to keep the Boo on rotation and not the Goku Frieza. Yeah, let's do that. So then, okay, that's fine. We can do this now. Okay, it doesn't do any damage because of the damage threshold, but no big deal. The main thing is for the Ghost Usher, right? And then we'll get all of this candy, P-spheres with Fat Boo. Okay, I think I want to proc this too. We might as well launch the active, no time like the present. Get a little bit of extra damage in here. Okay, perfect. The crit helps out nicely. And then, oh, because we're above 77% HP, we probably should just keep the Goku out for, like, extra damage output and stuff for the turn. And then we don't really need the Rainbow Key Sphere with him, since we're not worrying about, like, taking any attacks. So we can just get these for some same type for that Dokkan gauge, which is kind of building, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to launch that Dokkan attack. Or at least if we do, it's going to be on, like, a very last turn where there's, like, a smidgen of HP left, and it wouldn't have really mattered to begin with. So, that damage threshold, definitely holding us back. Maybe it will come into play. Let's see. Because that was a crit from Boo there. Yeah, so it looks like he's not going to be doing enough damage here. Interesting. Very interesting. Even with the domain active. And this is the very last turn of having the domain available. So, his damage power is just going to go down. Wow, we're still below the damage threshold? Okay, we're definitely going to be able to use the the Dokkan attack here. Yeah, if we're just doing straight up 0 damage. Wow. That's pretty scary. Okay, well, it's a good thing we opted to leave Fat Boo on rotation. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, just for the ability to be able to use those Ghost Usher, or the revive, once we use both of the Ghost Ushers, right? Okay, so bye-bye to the domain. That is unfortunately gone, but we do have one more Ghost Usher to use here. So let's go ahead and proc that. Though... Because Frieza's so strong at this point, I feel like he could tank a slot 1 super from Goku Frieza. I'm not going to have him do it this turn, but I think because of that, we might not need the revive on this rotation. I think it might be smart for us to link up Cell and Frieza, just because then we'll have big bad bosses, which is huge, especially with this damage threshold, like causing it so that none of our allies are doing any damage. I would really rather maximize the amount of damage we can output on this rotation. So yeah, because of that, I don't want to keep Boo on rotation, which means I want to select orbs with both of them first. That way we can select orbs with Boo last, I suppose. But it looks like it's going to hurt a little bit here. Oh, no. We don't want Frieza slot 1, because in slot 2 and 3, he gets the extra, what's it called? The extra attack power, right? And then the extra additional super attack, which is going to be really important for this final phase. So yeah, we'll put Cell slot 1. So we'll grab these orbs for Cell, make sure he can super attack. And then because Frieza can't get an ultra super here... Oh, that does hurt us, doesn't it? I was going to say we could transform, but it's going to give Candy, which doesn't actually apply E-spheres to him. So that is a little bit unfortunate. Huh. Okay, well, there's not really anything we can do about it. It's just we got unlucky with the orbs. So, I guess we'll just go ahead and select these, get a super attack for Frieza, and then we can proc the active skill here. Obviously, still going to do no damage. Probably not going to do any damage with him throughout the entire turn. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. So surely both the Cell and the Frieza should be over the damage cap at this point. Yeah, there we go. And then, obviously, as long as we're able to peak over that damage cap, we're going to be able to do massive amounts of damage to them. There we go. Okay, yeah. So it's just going to be done here. There we go. There we go. That worked out much better for us than previously. And then Frieza, this final attack should do us in right here. Big bad bosses, a big power move for the final phase. Awesome. There we go. Okay, and then that should wrap it up and be the final mission cleared. Ugh, this could have been a 45-minute video. Instead, it's going to be an hour 10 because I made that little goof on the last run where I decided not to use the Ghost Usher. That was a big whoopsie by me. Did we get the missions cleared? Oh, I'm silly. We needed a Rainbow Extreme team. I just realized that right now. That we didn't even actually use a Rainbow Extreme team. We just used an Extreme team. We don't have Physical. Shoot. That actually really hurts. Okay, so let me go ahead and alter the team build then. Oh, gosh. That is... Wow, that is quite obnoxious that that happened, actually. Okay, so we need a physical unit. Okay, so for tech, let's do this. And then, you know, at this point, we might as well strap in. Just, I think I'm probably just gonna let you guys enjoy that goofball moment from me and just leave all this in the video. We'll just post the full thing. Dang it, that's so annoying. There's probably some of you that are screaming at me in the comments already that I didn't even do it properly. Oh, that was my bad from when I made the teams to begin with. I wasn't thinking ahead about that. Oh man, that really sucks. Okay. Wow, there's like not a lot of good physical units on here. I'm also realizing that when I initially built the team, I was under my leaders tag, so I was only looking at this pool of units here. I wasn't even looking at like the entire pool of units that I could have used. Which I think I'm gonna keep all of them the same way. Let's double check STR and see if there's anyone that I want besides Kid Buu. I think probably not. Yeah, Kid Buu's the best option. And then for physical, what do we got? I'm probably going to have to go with Buu Tanks. I don't think anybody else is even strong enough for this fight. like maybe the Super Easy A Kid Buu. But I think I would rather have Buu tanks to be able to link with Kid Buu in case they're on the same rotation or something. Maybe Full Power Frieza, but again, he's got the same name as the other Full Power Frieza, and they both are really, really hungry for slot 1. So, unless we're going to do a double Full Power Frieza rotations, I don't think that that's going to work out amazingly for us. Yeah, it's probably... I mean, he's got 80% damage reduction in slot 1. I guess as long as we could keep it that way. But yeah, that's the problem is we have the character locking phase that's going to hurt that, right? Okay, yeah, I think this is the right build then. Let's go ahead and run it like this and see if we can get the win. Man, what a bummer. Oh, and I ran out of support reels. Okay, well, since we're this far, if you're still watching, you're strapped in anyway, so let's just go buy some more support reels real quick, and then we'll jump back into that stage. I'm just not even gonna make any cuts. Might as well just post the whole thing. It's fine. At first, I was gonna opt to do all of these in separate portions and do like, you know, one mission per video and stuff. But then I figured because I was gonna be clearing multiple missions with some of these teams at a time, it would be better just to do them all at once. So that's fine. Okay, well, we're ready to go. Let's do it. And then this time, if things look risky at the end, I am just probably going to use the Whis after all. I already showed no iteming it. Like, that's so annoying. I can't believe I didn't realize there was no physical unit on the team. That sucks. Okay, so now we have... Oh, we don't have to worry about the domain anymore because we took that Buu off for the tech cell instead. But I think... Oh, AGL Cell is coming around onto this rotation, so we're going to rotate off Full Power Frieza, then. Yeah, since our Boos are already split. But this is going to be a bit of an interesting run, because we're going to keep one rotation of the cells together, definitely, because now that we have Tech Cell on the team, he's going to be like our de facto slot 1 for sure. And then on our other rotation... We're going to have Full Power Frieza as the slot 1. And then I guess we could just keep an Int Fat Buu there. So we're going to have multiple rotations where we have both Fat Boos and stuff. That could end up being a thing. We'll see. Because, like, ideally it would be the best to do a full Buu rotation on the other side, but we don't really have, like, an amazing slot 1 Buu that we can, like, depend on, right? Okay, let's see what the locking looks like. Okay, Kid Buu locked in slot 3. So yeah, let's go ahead and put Fat Buu up front. Again, just in case there's some shenanigans that we have to deal with. He would, worst case, just get the revive right away. So we at least won't take a KO. It would be a little bit of a waste, I suppose, to see the revive proc this early in the battle. But better than taking a KO and having to start all over again. Especially because then we would have to go buy more support reels again, because I just bought enough for the one use. So just in the interest of time at this point. Okay, let's see if we survive this attack. I think chances are low. Oh, we did actually survive it. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. And then between all these Cell and Buu cards, I'm not worried about our HP being low. As long as it doesn't fully deplete, we're going to be perfectly fine. Yeah, we got plenty of healing coming in between all three of these characters by the end of the turn. And then we have Fat Buu on the next rotation that'll provide some start of turn healing. And then the Tech Cell is going to be healing on his super attack effect as well. So we are sitting pretty. Okay, getting some nice stacks in here for STR Kid Buu. Those may come in clutch later. Obviously, it'll be nice to get his defense number upwards of 1 million so that we know we can at least tank the normal attacks through the end of the fight. which isn't too difficult of a task to do, especially with a turn like that where he's getting multiple super attacks. All right, and then that is the third time in a row where the AGL cell has been slot 7. We literally have not used him in base a single time. That's every single time he's been in slot 7. Okay, so we have a little bit of dodging available with him. And there we go, back to 100% HP. Take that. So yeah, I mean, he's locked in slot 1, so hopefully the dodges proc if we get supered or something like that. And then I guess we could just get all these for Tech Cell so we can free up the spot for the Int Orb selection here. Again, ideally we're going to be trying to target same type orb selection through the entire fight. We do have a stronger team. Now that I realized we could use Tech Cell, we have a stronger damaging team overall. So I can't imagine that we're going to get the Dokkan attack, since with the lesser damaging team, we didn't even manage to get it. And now that we're not using a strat where our both Fat Boos are going to be main rotation, we're going to be doing a little bit more damage per rotation, right? Okay. I think I'll opt to do no transformation for now. We're just going to keep everything how it is. Shoot. We can't get a... we're not going to be able to get an Ultra Super attack with full power Frieza, basically no matter what we do here. This is actually a really bad turn for orb selection. I wish I knew where that super attack was at. Yikes, yeah, that hurts a lot. If I knew where the super attack was at, it would be a little better, because I would just put Fat Boo there, and then we know we'd be safe. So I think for now, what I'm going to do is put Frieza in the slot 1, because we know he'll tank it, and then we'll keep Fat Boo in slot 2, since the idea is to keep him on rotation anyway. Oh, actually, no. Let's do this. We'll put him in slot 2, because there's a lot of attacks in the 3rd slot, and there's more likelihood of the super attack being there. And then, because we have the other Fat Boo that's going to rotate around onto this rotation anyway, that way we don't have 2 Fat Boos at a time. Yeah, that's probably the best way to go. Alright, let's do that then. And then, I guess we can just grab these orbs here. Get these. So we do get the 18 key super with him at least. And then, I guess these. Sure. And the super attack is slot 1, so we should be safe with that. We probably have enough damage reduction to tank this. Our defense is really, really low, though. Yeah, our defense was so low with full power Frieza, because he didn't get any stacks yet. Man, that really, really sucks. Okay, let's jump back in. Do this again. Oh, and the team keeps switching on me, because it's the team from previous clear. So, boo that. Grab him, and then Tech Cell. Okay, yeah. That should be good. And we need more support reels. Oh my gosh. This is good. This is turning into a 2-hour video. Oh no. This last mission, dude. How brutal. And the other funny thing is I probably could be having an easier time with this if I wasn't using the boo team. I do like the idea of using the revives and stuff, but without having access to, like, scouters, the revive is, like, not something super dependable, right? And it turns out on that turn, it would have been smartest for us to just jump in with Boo in slot 1, and then he would have just gotten KO'd, but we would have revived. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, watch, slot 7 cell. Again, I literally called it. I tried to call it, and I vomited over my words. But yep, he is in slot 7 for the 4th time consecutively. That's wonderful. And so because of that, I think I probably want to try to rotate off the Tech Cell on the next rotation so we can get them linked up as quickly as possible. Who is it most important to build up? All these units kind of do need to build up. Let's put Boo in slot 1, because Boo actually needs to receive attacks in order to build up, right? Not just dish attacks. No, he just needs to perform attacks. Okay, well, we'll get his attacks performed up there. Well, but the boot tanks is going to be infinitely stacking attack and then defense on super. Nah, let's put him slot 1. That's probably smarter. Yeah, we'll do that. I like that idea. Because, you know, the Kid Buu is going to max out at one point, so as long as he gets like 1 or 2 turns of worth of attacks, he'll be fully built up. But I'm a little bit more worried about the Buu Tanks, who has the ability to infinitely stack. We're going to want to try and get him stacked up as high as possible before transforming him. So yeah, definitely a good idea to prioritize him getting some damage in here. And then also, that's true too, because the Fat Buu is going to be getting infinite defense stacks. So the fact that we put our type disadvantage unit up front means we didn't do an overwhelming amount of damage. So then everybody actually does get to stack on the turn. So yeah, that in hindsight was the best possible strat for us. Ooh, and the dodge is coming in too. That's very nice. Alright, cool. Well, let's see how many super attacks we can get off with Kid Buu then. Just because of how heavy his damage is, you know, there was a very real likelihood that he just KO'd the entire rotation by himself if we put him in slot 1, right? Okay, only 2. Not terrible. That's 2 of the 4 that he's going to need. Okay. So yeah, we are going to rotate Tech Cell here, and then we can just keep Full Power Frieza first slot. We are going to get the 18 key super with Full Power Frieza, very luckily. And then we'll just grab these so we can get same type orbs with Cell for a little bit of boost on that Dokkan gauge, but it's probably not going to matter for his attacks for the turn, because I imagine Frieza's going to finish this thing off for us. And Frieza taking the couple of hits up front there is really good too, because that adds to the key that he gets, which means it's just going to be easier for him to get another 18 key on the next turn to be able to raise his defense even more, right? Okay, on to phase 2, and again, for the 4th time in a row, we see Cell transform right away, not having the opportunity to use him in base at all. Hilariously so. And who's taking the lock this time? Okay, Buu Tank's in slot 2. That shouldn't be a huge deal. I think that'll be alright. We'll just make sure to rotate Fat Buu on the other side too, before it becomes too late to do anything about it. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab these orbs with Cell. Again, hope that his dodging ability procs. If not, then we do at the very least have some damage reduction in there, so we should be okay. And then we can grab all these for Buu. Yeah, we have a decent selection of those tech orbs there that are going to allow us to get the 18 key super with Full Power Frieza on the next rotation pretty easily. We shouldn't have to worry about anything there. The only thing that might suck is the character locking could potentially screw us, because I can't imagine we're going to do enough damage on this rotation to finish off 17, so we're probably going to have to deal with one more turn of character locking before we move on here. But there we go, with the super attack out of the way, we at least know we're not going to get KO'd on this turn. So we just got to get one more lucky turn with the character locking, and then we should be fine. Okay. We get another defense stack for Buu Tanks. I guess it is kind of good that we're leaving him on rotation to be able to get as many stacks as possible, especially because he's going to have type disadvantage against that final phase. I really will feel more comfortable with his defense being as high as it possibly can be. And that won't be as important for the Fat Boos because they have the revive ability, so even if their defense isn't quite keeping up, they still have some protection in their kit, right? Which I guess the Buu Tanks does have the ability to survive KO attacks, but it's only when you start the turn below a certain amount of HP. Yep, of course. Full Power Frieza got locked. Okay. Let's see. The normals hit for 600k, but the super does 1.6 million. It's got a cooldown of 7, though. I don't know that he did 7 attacks yet. I think either way, it might just be smarter to put Fat Boo. Yes, I'm seeing something clearly. Yes, yes, yes. Let's put Fat Boo. I am going to do this and just get the 3 orbs. That way I can still guarantee the 18 key super with Frieza. I think that's more important overall, as we've seen what Frieza is like capable and not capable of in the upcoming phases. Yeah, that's a really bad turn for orb selection. That sucked very bad that we had the Frieza get locked where he did, right? That hurt us a lot. So yeah, but with Fat Boo here, if we do have a super attack to deal with up front, then we'll just eat the revive, deal with that, move on to the next. And if we don't, then that means on the first turn of the physical phase, like when we come back around onto this rotation, we're going to have both of the int Fat Boos on rotation, plus full power Frieza. So full power Frieza, who has now gotten more defensive stacks, a lot more than last time, will have a better defensive stat, so he should be safe in slot 1. And then the int Fat Boos both will have the revive available for us. So we know for sure that we're not going to just eat a silly KO like we just did on this last attempt. Okay, there we go. Doing lots and lots of damage here with Frieza. It looks like we're probably actually going to finish off the phase then. Nice. And then we even get 2 attacks in there with Boo. Oh, so good. And with the passive buildup that he needs, it doesn't have to be super attacks, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's just attacks performed. I'll double check in a second, but I'm pretty sure that was going to be good enough to proc those, right? Okay, so again, we have the Cell without the ability to dodge here, but that's fine because we have Tech Cell around now. He's going to be able to be our de facto slot 1. Nice, and look at that. We're going to get a ton of orbs selected with him. This is going to work out really well for us. Okay, we're going to wait one more turn until we transform with Boo Tanks, I think. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best idea. Okay, I am praying that we get a slot 1 super in here. Praying for it. Let's go ahead and grab these orbs with Cell. Get those out of the way. Try and filter down. Oh yeah, there we go. We can have all those int orbs for the next turn. That works out pretty good. Okay, no slot 1 super. It still can happen against Tech Cell. It can. We got a massive amount of orbs selected, so that's a lot of damage that he could output. Unfortunately, no additional super. That would have helped us quite a bit. And no super attack. Okay, so we still have to worry about the super attack, but because it's going to proc post-super for us... Okay, cool, and then we get the double super there. As long as we double super with him and double super with the Boo Tanks, I think either one of them could probably tank it. Okay, let's see. Boo Tanks doesn't have enough damage output to flatten this phase, but, like, that was really close. My goodness. That was so much damage between the two of them. They are definitely going to be able to just one-turn the final phase of this fight, right? With the STR cell, or with the AGL cell having type advantage against the STR final phase. Okay, let's see if we have what it takes to tank this. If we get KO'd again, I swear, I'm going to be so annoyed. Come on, you got this. No, dude. Oh my... Oh. What the heck did I just witness? What did I just see happen? Oh my god. He barely survived it. And then he double-digit tanked the normals, which was very lucky for us. Though we did have the ability to survive KO attacks right there, so he would have still survived with 1 HP. And then the double int Fat Boo here heals us all the way back to 44%. Oh my god. What in the great goodness of the world. That was so insane. Okay. Let's see here. So they have a cooldown of 9. They just launched their super attack, so we know there's no super attack coming in. Let's go ahead and put Frieza up front, so we can get one more defensive stack with him prior to going into this final phase. I think that's going to be smart for us to try and handle. Shoot, we're only going to be able to get one int orb here. That's fine. I just want to get the one int orb for the healing. Oh, actually, I don't know. Hopefully Frieza can take care of it, and that those 3 bars of HP, or like 2 point whatever bars of HP, is going to be enough. I don't know. He hasn't gotten an insane amount of stacks yet. He's only at 13 million. He was still receiving some stat buffs from his passive from receiving hits, so yeah. This might be a bit of a scary turn. We'll see. We'll see. I guess as long as it's just normal attacks, we'll still be tanking just fine. I would much rather finish this phase off here, though, so that we can start that final phase with the double cell rotation. That's going to be the best way to go, right? Because if we're able to do that, then we can probably, if we don't fully KO the final phase, we can probably get the HP low enough that the full power Frieza can use his active skill on the next rotation. Because how do we even activate that active skill? I don't know what the conditions are. I know there's an HP restriction, but I don't know if there's anything else. When facing one enemy whose class is super and HP is 30% or less. Yeah, okay, so there we go. We did take a revive. That is going to hurt only because now we don't have the double cell rotation on the first turn of that final phase. So that's a little bit of a waste, because now we have like half a bar of HP to do with this gigantically enormous damaging rotation. So that really sucks. But at least we're back to full HP, and now both of our fat boos are a lot stronger than they were. Okay, so here we go. We get all of this with Excel. Let's try and prioritize same type orbs. Sweet, we're even able to get the AGL orb on the left there. Oh, but then we can't get anything for Boo. No big deal. Okay, so now we are safe. We're guaranteed safe here. Moving on to the final phase. And then we can transform with Boo tanks right away. I think I might, honestly, we're at an hour and a half here. I might just pop an item. I might just pop an item. I don't think it's worth it to risk. We'll see what this turn looks like. Oh, I don't need to pop an item. We have the Ghost Usher. That's right. Okay. So, yeah, let's go ahead and that's what we're going to do then. Let's do this. So, let's go ahead and transform with him first. Oh, wait. Let's use this Ghost Usher active skill first, so we don't have to worry about any attacks. Okay, that's good. And then we'll select all these orbs with Boo. Cool. And then now let's use his active skill. Get him transformed up. And then we can just grab these orbs, get him an 18 key super. And then that way we've got strong links here with the Boos side by side, but we still have Big Bad Bosses active. So then Frieza's got Big Bad Bosses, and he has the attack buff from being in slot 2 or 3. And then we can get the 18 key super with him. So this is going to be a pretty heavy damaging rotation. And then on the next turn, we have the other Boo that's going to be able to use his Ghost Usher active, plus the double cell rotation, which should be more, between whatever Frieza does here, plus the cells on the opposite rotation, that should be more than enough damage for us to fully KO. I suppose we could also get lucky with the amount of damage that Boo Tanks does here. He's definitely going to need to crit to get over that damage cap, though. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But full power Frieza is certainly going to do damage. Okay, yeah, with the 15 million attack stat only, definitely going to need to crit. Even, honestly, that might not even be enough. Let's see. Yeah, it isn't. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, I have faith in the cells. They are going to do some great work for us on this next turn. I believe. And then, I suppose if we don't fully KO on the next rotation, by the end of the next rotation, then when we come back, oh, we're still not, no, because we just rotated off full power Frieza. I was going to say, we'll still have the full power Frieza active skill, but we are not going to have that because he's not going to be on rotation. So yeah, at that point, that's when we might have to then resort to using an item, right? But yeah, it looks like that's not going to be the case. We're doing plenty of damage here with Frieza alone, that the cells are probably going to be able to just take care of business for us. Oh yeah, especially with the triple super coming in from Frieza there, and he's already below 50% HP, we are perfectly fine. Wow, oh my, Frieza! Holy moly! Wow, okay, yeah. I think I underestimated Frieza's capability there a little bit. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so very first thing, we want to select all these orbs, because once we use the Ghost Usher, they're going to go away, right? So let's go ahead and select orbs first. Do that. And then now we can use the Ghost Usher active, so we don't have to worry about any more super attacks coming in. Even though with that massive amount of orbs selected, with all those rainbow orbs giving the extra damage reduction, I'm pretty sure that Cell probably would just be able to tank the super anyway. But it's fine. Better safe than sorry. And then this right here should be the very last attack of it. And finally, oh, well, almost finished it off. Okay, and then the normal, so we have to super. Okay. We're just prolonging this video as much as we possibly can at this point, right? Holy moly. There we go. And Transforming Cell finishes it off for us. He's the GOAT. Alright. And now, finally, we should have finished the last of the missions, yes? There we go. There we go. Awesome. Okay, let's go collect those missions. Oh, and we got a title as well. What was that title for? Okay, let's see here. I'm really curious what that title was that we just got. Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and collect all of the rewards here. A massive amount of Link skill orbs. I guess the sticker is nice. We're very low on stickers these days, so that's cool. Couple of stones there, not bad. Definitely feel like I should have gotten more rewards for how long that took me, but obviously I was being a little bit silly. Let's go ahead and double check on that title. It's a special title of some kind. I don't know if it would have been like a unique title. Oh, I suppose it'll show a new tag on it since we just earned it. Or was that like a coincidental title that we got from something? I wonder. Let's just keep scrolling through here and see if we see a new tag on any of this. I'm very confused about what that title was that we just earned. I'm assuming we just got a title for completing that list of events. Oh, I still need to do these ones for Earth Protecting Heroes and Successors. I forgot to grind those. I need to do that while I'm link leveling. Soon I will do those. I am not going to go on a tangent about that right now. I think I'll talk about that in my power level update video, which is coming very soon because I'm about to hit 19 million, as you guys saw on my profile there. Oh, was it this? Yeah, there we go. So these are the special missions accomplished. Cool. So we got a title for that. Neat. Probably not going to set the title, but cool to know that we have it. All right. Cool. So that finishes it up for those missions. I am going to get out of your hair now. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me. That's going to do it for this one. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.